You know what's going on, everyone? Happy May 1st, everyone. We are almost to the peak of the spring gardening season. If you want to follow up on that, you can continue watching these videos. They'll be doing pretty good. So thank you guys so much for the support on that. But today we're gonna be talking about some misconceptions you might get about chickens, because whenever you're like raising chickens, there's a ton of myths that come in there, and unfortunately some of the times myths aren't that true, although sometimes myths can be really much true. But this time around, these myths can easily be proven false, or at least proven false to a certain extent. In this video, we're going to take a look at all the stuff in here, and I'm going to be providing you my insight on this subject matter. So before we get in, be sure to click like and subscribe. I'm not forcing you, I'm just saying, man. If you want to see more high effort videos, by the way, May 7th, there's a big time documentary coming. I'm going to keep dropping that sort of stuff in this video, so let's go. So starting off strong, chickens can't fly. Is it a myth or is it true? I'd say it's right in the middle. Chickens, it depends on which way you define the term fly. If you define the term fly as flying through the air and never returning, then no, chickens cannot do that. And do you want to know why? The chickens are around, I'd say, like maybe what, like 10 to 16 inches tall, and I'd say around 2 feet in length from the tip of their beak to the other side of the edge of their tail. So with all that being said, there's a lot of weight on the chickens, usually around 4 to 8-ish pounds, and because of that, their wingspan has to be really long to be able to support that. Like, I'm talking, their wingspan should be like what, I'd say like 42 to 60 inches if it wants to support them flying without any issues. Probably closer to 60 inches, so like probably around the wingspan of a red-tailed hawk. And in that scenario, they wouldn't have to deal with red-tailed hawks. So that's what I'd say right there. They cannot fly under that definition. If you define flying as like chickens, as long as they like jump and they hit the air for a certain amount of time, then it can technically be considered flying. Yes, they can fly. They can jump to get a flying start, but they can't really fly that far. So I'd say this myth is half right, half wrong. More like 3/4 right and 1/4 wrong, but you never know. But next up, we got one that can easily be proven false. You need a rooster for your hens to lay eggs. Guess what? Newsflash, if you have a rooster, your hens will actually lay less eggs. I know I said it. I've got to be like one of the few people on this platform that'll say that. But guess what? It's true. And I can prove it. So my pet flock chickens, before we added Falcon, we had 8 chickens. And when we added Falcon, we had like 12 chickens, I think. No, 11. Yeah, 11. But those chickens weren't quite yet old enough to lay eggs until the fall of that year because they were slow. Falcon, when he was discovered to be a rooster, started terrorizing the hens. So the chickens were, before laying, I'd say around, out of the 8 chickens we had, I think we were getting about like 5 to 7 eggs per day. After that, we were getting 1 to 3 eggs a day during their peak season, and that was mainly because of the stress he was putting on them, and you could tell because they had to regrow their feathers. And when mating season comes around, you just want to turn him into a nice 10-piece chicken McNugget. And I think this season, if he's going to be a massive idiot, then, well, might be his season to have seasoning poured on him. No, I'm joking, probably not, but like, if it ends up happening, I'll keep reporting on that sort of stuff. Another thing is that you need your chickens to be free range for them to be happy. Guess what? We pasteurize our chickens and they are just happy. Well, would you call that pasteurizing? You can barely make out that there's a fence there, but you might remember recently my chicken yard was down there. But how did it get up there? Because the coop is built on wheels, so you can move it there, and then you can move the yard over there. It's pretty cool. So yes, it is technically pasturing, but you can move the pasture wherever you want. But they're still happy. As long as they have some space and some grass to chew on, they'll be just fine. They won't have any major issues in their life. So yes, I would recommend not keeping them in cages. You shouldn't keep them in cages. But no, you don't have to free range them and risk it all. So I'd recommend pasteurizing them to a certain extent, like what we do here. But if you can't afford this sort of stuff, then maybe free ranging might be the way to go. You never know. So yeah, that was pretty much it today. There's probably not going to be a double upload, but unless I'm able to do it, I might be able to do it, because I'm working on many video essays. Keep in mind, I run many different channels. You might actually recognize my voice from another channel. You never know. Comment down below if you do actually recognize my voice from another channel, which channel it came from, and I'll say if it's my voice or if it's just someone who sounds like me. Because trust me, there's tons of people that sound exactly like me. So I will say that for sure. I have to go work on some video essays for many channels, and especially this channel, which is my biggest one as of right now. But you never know, things could change. So be sure to click that like and subscribe and a video on the screen. And I will catch you guys in the next one, guys. Bye.